how do you deal with rejection? What's the lowest you've been? Or you remember a time period where you hit the lowest, and how did you deal with that?
Oh my gosh. I've had some pretty humiliating moments. Rejection there's so much rejection in the entertainment industry. You either develop calluses or, there is a psychological impact that I think that people might not realize. Like, I have a good friend of mine who passed away, and he went to an Ivy League school. He went to an Ivy League law school. He got a scholarship to a special high school. He was a home run hitter. And he did stand-up, and he had a TV show, and he had all this success. But the reality is with all that success that he had through his life, the amount of rejection that he dealt with after, like the show was canceled, the agent dumped him, all this stuff. I don't think he could process it. And he eventually got into drugs and he died. And the reason I bring that up is that, it's not an appetite for failure or humiliation, but you have to have, it's a pretty tall task. These creative people that are paid to take things personally, to respond emotionally and authentically, they also have to process all this humiliation. So when someone, like Kanye West is a bad example, but when some actor loses their shit, I'm like, yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? But so it's that maturity of dealing with loss and disappointment that makes someone exceptional. Like Tom Hanks seems like a pretty amazing guy, but there's also how he's processed the humiliation we haven't seen is really impressive. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I would say the lowest point. I remember there was a point where, so in the comedy club world, again, this is when I was like, all my friends were, getting on Conan, getting these measuring points that seem to exist in the stand-up world. And I was getting nothing. And I was not working at at the preeminent club because I was a low energy kind of observational guy that like did not kind of stylistically, the irreverence wasn't appealing. It wasn't working at 1 a.m.